Hi, I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thank you for joining me for this reality news check. First, of course, we start with your headlines. You should know that there is another school shooting and another child dead. That's right, folks. Plus, you better pay attention. HPV vaccines for your sons. Well, folks, it might save them from penile cancer. And you did hear me correctly. Please stay tuned. Also today, a look at Mitt Romney, Rick Santorum, and of course President Obama. And we'll tell you, of course, as you know, Obama is way ahead, as he should be. All right, then we have news for you of a 41 megapixel camera in a smartphone, folks. You betcha. We'll tell you about it. Plus, bad news for cruise ship passengers. And finally, did you know that your bad breath could save your life? Yeah, I will tell you about it. All right, let's begin. In the news, folks, 1 dead and 4 injured in a high school shooting. It happened in Ohio, Chardon, Ohio, to be exact. Apparently, teen gunman and fellow student T.J. Lane opened fire in the cafeteria. That is allegedly opened fire in the cafeteria at Chardon High School, which was very busy because it was breakfast time. 2 of the injured taken by helicopter to Hillcrest Hospital. That's in Mayfield Heights, and 3 going by ambulance to Cleveland Hospital. Unfortunately, however, student Daniel Parmator did not survive, unfortunately, folks. Authorities say there was only 1 gunman involved. They say he is T.J. Lane. He reportedly was chased out of the school by a teacher before turning himself in to 2 passers-by, if you can believe that. Now T.J. Lane in police custody. Students, though, describing him as a nice, quiet kid. It's always the case, okay? Nice, quiet kid, folks. Somehow, who knows what happened. But Chardon, you should know, is about a town of about 5,000 residents. It's about 30 miles east of the city of Cleveland. A Monday shooting, you should also know, was the worst shooting in Ohio since 2007. Somebody, can you say gun control? I mean, you know, there are cities out here and townships and out here that are having more and more, I should say, less and less restrictive gun laws. And this is what happens. You cannot let guns get into the population like we have them now, because there's always some kid that gets a hold of them, it snaps, and then somebody ends up dead, and that poor kid's life is ruined. So, you know, we pay attention to that. All right, folks, in other news, should you vaccinate your sons against the human papillomavirus? We're talking HPV, folks. Well, you all know that it was originally for girls and young women up to the age of 26, the goal to protect them from different strains of the virus. But now, folks, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the American Academy of Pediatrics, they want males at 11 or 12 years of age to get that routine HPV vaccination. And you're asking yourself, should I get it for my son, and why so young? It's because doctors say the vaccine is most effective if it is administered to your sons before they become sexually active. Now, this is very important, folks. Please listen up and pay attention, because when it comes to your sons, folks, young men diagnosed with HPV have also developed penile cancer. That's right, folks, and also anal cancer. Get them vaccinated. Young men having sex with other young men should be particularly careful and really consider being vaccinated. Now, you should know that, as we all know, that when it comes to females, that HPV is known to be the root cause of cervical cancer in women. So please be careful. All right, let's turn to some political news. Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum, as you know, vying for those votes in Arizona and Michigan. The race does remain close. A loss in Michigan, of course, a very big problem for Mitt Romney, because, of course, he was born in Michigan and his father was governor of the state and he lived there. All right, a new poll out today of likely Republican primary voters does show Michigan, and these are voters in Michigan, does show Rick Santorum with a 36% lead. 36% of the support of those likely voters going for Rick Santorum, and 35% for Romney. So they're 1 percentage point apart, but of course statistically that doesn't matter. They are in one heck of a dead heat, folks. But taking a look at the president now, there's a Politico George Washington University battleground poll that came out today. It indicates that President Obama is way ahead of Mitt Romney and Rick Santorum, of course, leading Mitt Romney 53 to 43% in a hypothetical general election matchup. Also, the president way ahead, no surprise there either, of former Senator Rick Santorum of Pennsylvania. Those numbers, 53% for the president, 42% for Santorum. Meanwhile, what's the president doing today? Well, he spoke at the National Governors Association, a luncheon for them at the White House. The president not happy and warning U.S. governors who are just slashing funding for education. The president warning them that failure to maintain significant government investment in education today, of course, will mean that we have significant economic harm in the future, because our students will not be globally competitive. So you should know that Republican presidential candidate Rick Santorum, of course, you remember last week he called Obama a snob. a snob, folks, because the president advocates that American students go to college. Folks, I'm going to put my last dollar, how about my last dime, that Rick Santorum's kids will be going to college. Now, he doesn't want his kids to not go to college. He wants your kids to not go to college. So listen up, Republicans. I'm talking to the Republicans now because the Democrats are not falling for that foolishness. Republicans, even if you support Rick Santorum, you have to think about this. What kind of man would want his kids educated and not yours? You say, I don't know if he wants his kids educated. Dollars to no nuts, folks. Those kids are going to college, all right? All right, now, in business news, there is bad news on two fronts for cruise ship passengers. 22 Carnival Cruise Line passengers robbed, folks, of their valuables, okay, and their passports. It happened during a shore excursion that was in the Mexican seaside resort town of Puerto Vallarta. And you'll remember that just 2 weeks ago, the U.S. State Department did issue a travel warning to Americans telling us to avoid all but essential travel to all or parts of 14 Mexican states. Folks, Puerto Vallarta, that town, the state that it's in, included in that list, so pay attention. All right, the State Department also warning travelers to use caution when visiting parts of Baja California, Colima, and Morelos. Be careful, folks. In other cruise ship news, an Italian cruise ship with more than 1,000 people on board is without power in the Indian Ocean after a fire on board, folks. No one injured, thank goodness. But guess what, folks? The ship is from the same fleet as the Costa Concordia, which you'll remember capsized off the Italian coast in January, killing 32. All right, also in business news, get this. Stem cell researchers in Japan say they are harnessing bad breath. Yes, folks, they're investigating it. They say it helps convert stem cells from human teeth into liver cells. Yes, people. We're talking about hydrogen sulfide. That is the gas known for generating the smell in stink bombs and, of course, in bad breath, folks. It has been harnessed by stem cell researchers in Japan. Now, you can read about it, all of their research, in the Journal of the Journal of Breath Research. The scientists say the gas increases the purity of the stem cells. Okay, save your life, folks, generating new livers. And then finally today, take a look at Nokia, folks. The company says it has a 41 megapixel camera that it's putting in a smartphone. Nokia showed the device during the opening day of the Mobile World Congress that's going on right now in Barcelona. Nokia is hoping, of course, to regain, it lost so much footing to Google as well as to the iPhone, trying to regain its footing in the mobile market. But the phone, if you're interested, is called the Nokia 808. The company says it is going to set a new industry standard for mobile imaging. Those are your stories. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thank you for joining me. Follow me on Twitter at Carol Angela D. See you next time.